Boomhauer69 here, and today's video is going to be a talking video, so for those of you who don't like these talking videos, that's what it's going to be, me just sitting in front of this camera, running its mouth, but for those of you who've probably seen this video right here, that's what I'm going to talk about and what the goal is with that video, so a long time ago, maybe about 5 years ago, I made a walkthrough video of the church next door to me. Yes, I live next door to that church and I watch it like a hawk. But I live next door to that church. I actually live in the parsonage house, as they would call it, of that church. And my ultimate goal was to simply make that video go viral all over the internet and try to get a bunch of people to share it, and then through the YouTube ad revenue, be able to generate some money on that and give it to the church to help fix the church up. I'm still gonna keep on trying that. I know it looks like it's not possibly going to happen, but keep trying it, keep working at it. But either way, if that video didn't go viral on the internet and I made a super viral video, one of my other videos I make that's up now, or a future video went viral, whatever, and I made a crazy ton of money off of it and I can afford to do so, I would still give money to the church to fix it up, because that's my goal on YouTube, is helping people out. And like the church next door to me, they don't have much income coming. That building's over 100 years old. It needs a lot of repair work, and so my goal was to some way or another make some money somehow for that church to be able to fix it up and stuff. I've actually been many years friends with those people that own that church. Actually, generations of my family's been really good friends with them. My grandfather, actually, my grandpa was actually childhood friends with the owners of that church and stuff, and so we've known each other for generation. Those one of those types of people that are like a second family almost. And so my goal is to simply just raise money somehow to help fix up that church and make it nice again, and be able to save a piece of American history. Maybe down the line sometime have the money to be able to fix it up and make part of it kind of like a retro church, maybe, or whatever. My idea, I thought, was, since my one childhood friend that does missionary work and works with a missions organization, and I forget the name of the a missionary organization he works for, but he does missionary work and goes overseas and stuff and does missionary work and things, and he's actually planning on this November going to a country to do some missionary work and stuff. And I thought what would be neat to do is have a ton of money, because just to do get that back to a basic nice church, you're gonna easily probably well over 200. Probably over 200,000 easy. I have a brother that's a computer drafter, and he works for a construction company, so I kind of get a rough idea of what, construction jobs and stuff cost and things, and it costs thousands crazy dollars. I'd probably say if you had $50,000, you'd probably only be able to do maybe 10% of that church, because it's a 100-year-old church. It's one of those they built back in the 1800s with the high ceilings and stuff, because this town was founded in the late 1800s, so that could be possibly one of the actual oldest church in Saranac, or maybe the second or third oldest. I don't know what's the oldest church is in Saranac, and that could possibly even be the oldest and not even realize it, But anyways, it's an old church and it needs a ton of work. It needs new windows and all kinds, and doors and stuff. It's gonna need quite a bit of work to make it new again. But the shell. The thing important is about old buildings is, as long as the structure, the shell, the frame, as long as that's okay, then you have something to work with and stuff. And what I thought would be neat to do is This is what I envisioned in my head if I owned the building and money wasn't a problem and I had all the money in the world and stuff. Like I said before, I would make, since that's got a high ceiling, I would figure out how to make it into a 2-story building where you'd have a second level. And then in the second level, I would make that like living quarters. I would make that like a kind of, I picture kind of like a dormitory style, like where you have a hallway and then got rooms on this side, rooms on that side. And then down in the basement, what I would do is obviously jack up the church, redo the basement, make it where you could actually better stand up in that basement of that church, because it is a little basement. You can still stand up in it. You don't gotta duck like this house I'm living in right now. It's got an old Michigan basement, dirt floor basement, fieldstone foundation where you gotta hunch over to crawl around in there and stuff. But I would make the basement a little more taller and make that like the downstairs. Like some churches will have downstairs a little, I guess you call it fellowship hall, kitchenette area and stuff, and that's probably what I would do down there. And then add some nice bathrooms, a couple bathrooms that would have at least walk-in showers, and then the second story would be just kind of dormitory style, like rooms on this side, rooms on this side, and they would basically just be bedrooms, maybe have in there like rooms with a few beds in there, maybe a couple of twin beds or one full-size bed and maybe a desk and maybe a dresser, like you would see in the typical, like if you went to a college, or like me, I went to a trade school or whatever, like what you typically find in your typical basic college dorm rooms. A lot of community colleges and certain colleges will have like a basic little dorm room, just, enough room for a desk, a dresser and stuff. And that's what I would probably do in that, because I think you would be able to do more room. Or if there was a way to maybe add maybe 2 in there, maybe just do some regular actual apartments or whatever, it would all be space. Because what I would do is I would add on to that building. I would, instead of making it the shape that it is, I would make it just a big giant square and stuff. And like I said, the dormitories are rooms on this side for the sleeping quarters. And then the main area, like the downstairs, that spare room that we just use for storage, where you saw me, boo-hooing and crying in there and stuff. That section, I'd probably maybe make that into like a little kind of multi-purpose, kind of maybe a little cozy kind of hangout living space, like maybe a big giant living room or something, and kind of more like an entertainment area, or maybe convert into classrooms for Sunday classes or whatever. But I would also somehow incorporate like maybe a big giant kind of living room space, and then the basement would just simply be the kitchenette fellowship, where you'd have your potlucks and stuff and things, and doing stuff like that to a building, oh man, you're gonna spend thousands upon thousands of dollars. Matter of fact, that church don't even have a hot water heater in it. One of the things you'd have to do all that stuff, you'd have to spend, probably, maybe like, I don't think it would cost that much, but you'd have to get a good hot water heater, and then pipe, run some piping to the hot water. First, you'd have to get the hot water, find the best spot to put it, and then do all that. And because that church don't have a hot water heater, and you'd have to run hot water pipes, a hot water line, and then a cold water line and all that stuff. And so you'd probably get, I'd say maybe around $2,000 probably just in doing that and stuff. And then one thing I would do myself, if money was an option, also make it more handicap accessible somehow, where at least you'd have a nice wheelchair, make another little, if you add more than just the main entrance, but maybe make it a little more, like make a restroom on the first floor that would be handicap accessible somehow or something, or maybe add an elevator or something. Then some options, maybe have some bathrooms downstairs with some showers, walk-in showers at least, and then maybe in the main like little foyer area, where the bell tower is, where there used to be a bell and stuff that used to ring for when you're ready for church and stuff, and then maybe some bathrooms there that would be easy handicap accessible, make it a little more handicap friendly and stuff. But that's what I would kind of do is if I owned the building and stuff and legally owned it and everything, I would just make it more kind of like a housing thing for missionaries and stuff that come to Michigan, because I know there's quite a few people that actually do missionary work. I know a few people. I know a lady and a guy. I know two people that do a lot of missionary work, and I could get with them and make it, and they would and have it all set up where it would be something. Because first of all, I grew up many years living next to an old 100-year-old farmhouse that was owned by my grandfather, and nothing became of this 100-year-old farmhouse, where some people would call it Mother Nature, but God took it over, and it basically became just a pile of rubble, and it's now finally been torn down, long gone, where it just sat vacant, abandoned, and the storms and stuff tore it, and it eventually just caved in and stuff, because Mother Nature took its course, and so as some people would call it, God, Jesus Christ took it over and stuff. And I always remember that old abandoned house, and always thought as a kid, man, it would have been cool to see what that house would have looked like back in its heyday, or man, it would have been cool if my grandpa could afford to fix it up and make it new again, but unfortunately, from what I was always taught, that it was his issue was just a money situation where he couldn't do anything with this house, and I would hate to see that fate happen with that building. I would hate to see that just end up to the point where you just gotta demo it and bye it. Like right now, that building, you can fix it up, you can repair it. It's gonna take a lot of money, but it can be saved, and I think it would be neat to save a piece of American history. Just looking at that building, I think about how the old boys and the old men and women, I always call it the old boys, how they did stuff back in the day, the way they had to cut the timbers and stuff, then a lot of times when that church was built, I guarantee you they didn't have chainsaws. They might have had a steam-powered saw or the local sawmill, and stuff, but they were just basically two guys probably taking a crosscut saw and trying to, make a beam and stuff, that's over 100 years old. That's one of them buildings that, boy, if that church building could talk, it would have the stories to tell, It's one of those where I met people that said, yeah, I had a family member that used to that got married in there, or somebody, hey, I know somebody that had a funeral or whatever, I met people who shared their stories about it, and stuff, I some older folks and people that moved away, and they come back and they say, yeah, I remember that my family member church got married in there. I remember there was a lady, it was Halloween, I was in front of the church giving out candy for Halloween, and a lady told me about her relative that got married in there and stuff, and that's why I keep trying to make videos about the church and stuff, because I really truly want to try to some way, through ad revenue on this and through YouTube ad revenue and AdSense stuff, be able to raise up some money and help fix up that church. The reason why I don't do GoFundMe pages, first of all, I don't own that property, so I can't make a GoFundMe page for it. I don't have permission to say, hey, yeah, let's make a GoFundMe page. I don't have permission from the owners to do so. And me personally, I just wouldn't feel comfortable about a GoFundMe and stuff would, I just don't feel kind of, I guess, say right about a GoFundMe, because biggest thing is I just don't own that property, and I don't have permission to, hey, let's go make a GoFundMe and try to save that. I don't have permission from the owner, so that's why I just wouldn't do it. Now, if it was personally me and stuff, and I owned the building, then I'd be probably a little more tempted with GoFundMe. The only problem is I just simply don't have the knowledge of how GoFundMe works. Even my childhood friends, that are mom and dad that owns that property, they're older folks. They don't know much about computers. They know how to use one, but they're not, as far as the people that own that church, they're not very computer illiterate, I guess you'd call it. But we don't. And so as far as GoFundMe, nobody really knows how to maybe get one. Wouldn't know how to get one going, first of all. But so all I'm doing is just making YouTube videos, trying to get that video called My Goal of Helping a Church in Saranac, Michigan, get that video going, trying to get that video to share it and go viral. And that's the only thing I've been doing. And even if that video doesn't go viral, let's say I make another video and it goes crazy viral, and I'm making like $6-7 million off from YouTube or something, I'd still either way give them the money to fix that church and do what they do. But I like from time to time sharing my idea of what I would do. If I owned that building, I would just simply, long story short, I would just simply make it something where it would benefit the missionaries that live in the Great Lakes states of Michigan, where missionaries would have a place to stay and not have to worry about trying to figure out, I gotta come back to the States for whatever reason, because sometimes missionaries, due to war or whatever the case may be, they might have to come back to the United States, and if they're from Michigan, they might not have a place to stay. And doing something like that, turning that into like something that would benefit missionaries, and then still have a main area for Sunday service as well, I think would be very beneficial to help out missionaries. And then you could say, we have available place, come stay here, and then give them a place to stay and have a place to worship and stuff, and things. And that's what I think, because my one childhood friend is a missionary, and that's what kind of gave me the idea. And then plus two, I noticed the Bible Methodist Connection of Churches, the Bible camp that I used to attend every summer and stuff, the Bible Methodist Connection of Churches up to Bessemer, Michigan. They every summer around July have a church camp, which I didn't get to go this year due to work and stuff. They have a church camp, and they're also building, they also are renovating a stone house that is going to be converted into dormitories for missionaries and stuff. And that's where I kind of got the ideas from, them converting the stone house into a missionary. And I thought, hey, that would be a good thing to do with the church next door if I had the money and owned it and stuff. Because I look at it, Saranac, Michigan is right in between two major cities in Michigan. You got on the east, you're about 30 minutes or maybe 40 minutes, a little less than an hour away from the Capitol, the Lansing Capitol building. And then over to the west, you're about 20 minutes from the big city of Grand Rapids. And I think it would be beneficial, because if a missionary, for whatever reason, had to go to Lansing, to our state capital, and maybe visit the government buildings to get special permits and passports to enter some country or whatever, it's just basically almost like a hop, skip, and a jump, as they call it. That's a phrase I've heard a lot growing up, where they could easily we're not far from the expressway, where they could easily head this way behind me, south, and hop on the I-96 interstate, head east, and go vroom to Lansing, and go to the government buildings, take care of whatever governmental needs they have to do. Because I know sometimes in certain countries, you gotta have special passports, you gotta go through a lot of stuff to sometimes to enter certain countries, especially if the country might be a communist country or something that, might not be very United States friendly, so sometimes you gotta get special permissions and paperwork and documents. And I just figured, hey, it would actually make it easier and beneficial. And then that way they can take care of their needs and they're not far from the highway and be easy to travel, maybe visit their family members. Maybe they're coming back for Christmas, whatever, and to visit families and friends or whatever, the case may be. That's why I think, because just the location where Senec is, I think is a perfect thought. That's why I thought that'd be neat to do that, and stuff. But stuff like that costs money. You could easily in that church over $500,000. You could easily, heck, you could even put $1 million into something like in that building. It would take a lot of work, but it can be saved. Even if you just did the basics. Put a kitchen, some classrooms. The basic, just to keep it a nice church. You still gotta spend a lot of money, but that's my little idea of a mission house. Again, it's just what I would do if I was the sole owner of that property and stuff and the property and stuff, what I would do. So you can have easily money, but my goal would be is just some way, somehow raise up a bunch of money, give it to the owner, say drop a sack full of cash down to them, say here's the money to fix up the church and keep it new again and stuff. And I know the owners are at retirement age where maybe give them money and then say, hey, how about you just maybe talk to them about just say, hey, let's put the land and property in your son's name, however, and then me and my brothers and everyone get together, and even the guy over there that does a past service, get with him and work on making that church new again and stuff and make it beautiful, because I would hate to see that church just deteriorate and become a pile of rubble, basically, and just then to save a piece of Michigan history and small town history and stuff. So yeah, that's why I continue that stuff, because my goal is to eventually, some way, somehow, get enough money to be able to help them fix that up and make it new again. Maybe if through my other videos, maybe save up a bunch of money and about 20, 30 grand, whatever, and say, hey, can I buy this property and stuff? And one of the things I would definitely do is make sure to have proper construction crew guys go through it and see what all needs to be done and stuff, because I know people who work in construction and will know what to look for to see what would all need to be done and stuff. But yeah, that would be my goal and challenge anyways, is just to try to raise up money some way, somehow, to make it new again. So when you see that playlist I made about the church, the goal will be with that is when the time comes and money comes in and we can finally fix that church up, I would like to, in the future, when the time comes to fix and restore that building, to be able to do videos about the process of it getting rebuilt from start to finish, like a lot of people do on YouTube with their homes and stuff. They'll remodel a home and they'll do videos from start to finish. I would love to do something like that, and in the near future, when money came in and was able to do so, I would totally do basically a series on that church getting remodeled and restored, and so that's one of my goals with trying to get YouTube and trying to get all kinds of views and subscribers and stuff, and so I can be able to help that church building out and help the owners make that nice again and stuff. And that's one of the things I want to do, and from time to time, videos like these is what I'll probably continue to do or whatever. So don't be alarmed if you see from time to time more stuff about me or me just simply making a short video saying, hey, share this video and stuff about the church, because I do want to try to help them out some way or some form, and just like I talk about helping the homeless and other people in need, and those well, and that's one of I'm going to call it top priorities to do, because the people who own that church, I know them for many years. They're like a second family to me. They helped me out. Matter of fact, this house right here, if it wasn't for them, I wouldn't be in this house. I'd probably be homeless on the streets, and it's just one of those things. They helped me out, so they scratch my back, and I want to scratch theirs, and in some way, somehow, be able to give back to them. So, yeah, I'll be putting this in the playlist there I made about the church. I forget what I called it, but anyways, and so yeah, and yes, if I ever do get the opportunity to be able to that church gets restored or whatever, yes, I would do videos of the construction process and stuff, and things for all you to see and stuff. So if you like this sort of content, give this video a thumbs up or a thumbs down. If you didn't like this comment your thoughts below. What do you think? Good video, bad video, Like I say before, you are free to put your thoughts down, because that's the whole point of trying to become a good YouTuber. You gotta listen. You gotta take a note of the negative and the positive too, so you know how to better yourself out there. Not all negativity is bad negativity. Some people are just trying to be helpful to help you grow. So hope you all have a good day. Thank you for watching Boomhauer 69's YouTube channel.